Hello everyone. So this time I'm back with the most awaited topic, especially for the SSB repeaters. So let's deep dive into the aspects related to the introspection and analysis post a failed attempt at the SSB. Rajaman, so if you look at the analytics of these SSB results, the percentage of freshers versus repeater candidates would give you the real picture. Now, if you look at the first attempt candidates or the freshers, it is in the range of 5 to 10% who are able to clear the SSB. As far as second attempt candidates are concerned, around in the range of 30 to 35% clear. Third attempt, it goes to 40 to 45%, and any attempt which is four attempts and more, the percentage comes down to 5 to 10%. So therefore, those who miss out in their first attempt should not get disheartened. Now, having said that, one must understand the importance of serious introspection as soon as possible after the attempt and analyze the shortcomings. Now, after one attempt and also due to the nature of the various tasks you undergo in the GTO and the psych, one can easily identify the shortcomings in general. However, there are certain ambiguity and confusion as to what could have been the right approach or the right course of action. So therefore, guidance and mentoring under an experienced assessor is very crucial. Right, so now let's have a look at the methodical way of introspection post a failed attempt at the SSB. Now, firstly, you must do introspection of performance for each task in the GTO as well as in the psych as soon as possible. Now, it is very important to identify the shortcomings in general first. As far as personal interview is concerned, evaluate your overall performance and how much you will rate yourself if asked out of 10. Thereafter, the analysis of the shortcomings is required. Once you have identified your shortcomings, it's time to analyze for which you must consult an ex-assessor. Thereafter, you need to chalk out a plan to address these shortcomings and convert them into your strengths. Now, based on the above deliberate exercise, the ex-assessor will guide you on the course of action you need to adopt for each of these shortcomings and convert it into your strength. Now, as part of self-analysis, one must find answer to the following questions for all the three techniques, GTO, psych, and the interview. Now, let's see how we are going to do it in next few slides. Right, so one must carry out in-depth analysis of performance in group testing on the following aspects. First one is the communication skills. Now, were you able to communicate effectively and fluently? And were you able to understand all the briefings and instructions given by the GTO? Thereafter, your level of general knowledge, your current affairs, and the general awareness. Now, were you able to comprehend the GD topic and participate effectively with good knowledge and understanding of the topic? As far as your group effectiveness is concerned, were you able to influence the group and did the group accept you as a member? Or did other members support you or listen to you or your ideas during the task? The next one is your physical fitness and the endurance. Could you negotiate all the group obstacles without any problem? And how many individual obstacles you were able to negotiate successfully? And finally, your acceptance by the group. How was the response of the group towards you? How many called you as their subordinates during the command task? So such aspects become very important for the group testing. Now, during the interview, one's ability to remember the CIQs, the compulsory introductory questionnaire in the same sequence and answering them one by one is inevitable. So thereafter, your ability to handle the situation in a logical and practical manner is also very important. Lastly, your response to the general awareness and current affairs related questions and ability to analyze and give your viewpoint. And therefore, you must note down all the questions, CIQs, situational current affairs questions asked by the IO and your answers to each one of them for the thorough analysis and guidance. Now, your response in the psych test is crucial to understand your personality and then your shortcomings in your failed attempt. As far as TAT is concerned, how many stories you were able to complete, how many stories you can recall and rewrite for analysis, the kind of response you gave, how many of them were positive response and how many were negative. Should be able to recall at least 4 to 5 stories and pen it down with the description of the picture for the analysis and guidance. As far as the WAT is concerned, were you able to understand the meaning of the words clearly or was it difficult? How many were you were able to complete and how many you were not able to complete? How many you left blank? So each one has its own implications. As far as type of response is concerned, OLQ is interpreted from type of response. It may be blank, incomplete, factual, maybe a cliche, or injunctional, personal, and even observational. As far as the SRT is concerned, that is your situation reaction test is concerned, how many you were able to complete and what type of response you recorded. Coming to the self-description, were you able to complete all the opinions and was it genuine or was it an attempt to impress? Now let's understand the fundamentals of any TAT story, which will help us in analyzing the response and the subsequent guidance. Now, as far as characters introduced, was it an individual or was there a group also? As far as the place of scene is concerned, was it relevant to the picture? And was it an indoor, outdoor, or a countryside, hill, jungle, river, sea, to that kind of detail? Thereafter, your level of action. Was it no, the central character was able to complete the job? What were the efforts made? Was it only a planning thing and no effort, or there was no effort at all, no action at all? As far as situation is concerned, what kind of situation occurred? Where was it related to work or adventure recreation, good fortune, conventions, or was it no miscellaneous, mostly crib stories which are there? In word association test, your response would fall in the following categories. That is, it could be observational, injunctional, it could be personal, it could be a cliche or a factual statement or your sentence, or it can be incomplete and blank also. Now, it's very crucial for you to remember at least 25 to 30 words and your response to each one of them. Now, this would help greatly in analyzing your performance and the shortcomings for the subsequent guidance. Now, the psychologist would draw inference of the following from the WAT responses. It could be about the logicality, the imaginativeness, the relevance to the stimulus, and depth of thought contained in your response or your sentence. Now, the type of response in your situation reaction test gives number of inputs related to the 15 officer-like qualities. Now, any blank response has following implications. Whether it fails to respond to a particular situation, he leaves the space as blank, it indicates there are certain conflicts in mind. If you look at the incomplete sentences, that means that the candidate is unable to offer full solution to a problem. He leaves the situation halfway, is inhibited, underconfident to handle that situation. The fantasy kind of response means that candidate is offering a solution to the problem which has got relevance grounding in reality. It indicates low in that particular factor and low confidence oblique determination. Now your pre-motor response in SRT would be as under. It will include words like should try, and not packed up with adequate amount of energy to act in any particular situation. Responses or reactions generally occurring at the ideational or thought level, indicative of the individual's non-involvement into the given situation. Responses or reactions generally occurring at ideational or thought level, now indicative of individual's non-involvement into the given situation. Now, therefore, it indicates low in any particular factor for which this society has been designed, and therefore your confidence is also found to be low. Now let's understand what kind of response would be termed as the motor response and which is supposed to be the best response. Now, it includes definite action and it is marked by taking an action wherever required. All action-oriented responses indicative of direct involvement of individual into the given situation. It's a balanced kind of response. Now let's have a look at one of the SRT responses and how it would get interpreted based on the response. Now, the situation is while traveling on a train, some people started arguing with him on a sensitive topic. He dash dash dash. Now let's understand meaning of each type of response for this particular situation. Now, one could be put more facts, discuss logically, show them the way to constructive discussion. Now, this is a complete response, brings out his prioritizing skill, confidence, and intelligence. Next could be put more facts, logically convince them. Now, it shows what? Focusing on the main problem and it brings out your common sense. It sets a partial solution, brings out the interest. The next one could be sit quietly and as there is no point of arguing. It's an incomplete action, brings out lack of confidence and lack of interest. Another reaction could be started fighting with them, stuck to his argument. It lacks social intelligence and tact. Now, after having a glimpse of the assessment of each technique, now it becomes very important for you to understand that a thorough analysis under an ex-assessor post your failed attempt at SSB is very crucial. What needs to be done as soon as possible is your post thorough analysis, prioritizing your preparation, recalling at least 25% of the response of your in TAT, WAT, SRT, rewriting your SD, and then how has to be addressed, discussing each task and responses with a qualified assessor, and after getting a complete assessment of performance in the failed attempt, regular check back with the mentor on improvement and then further course of action is very important. Okay, so this exclusive 3-day session will be absolutely one-to-one for 2 to 3 hours every day for each technique and 2 sessions on the final day. Now, it will be a free session for the first 5 candidates and thereafter it will be charged. Now, I hope this one of its kind effort will immensely benefit the genuinely interested candidates who want to crack SSB as soon as possible. And that's all from my side. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat, and best wishes to all who are going for the SSB attempt shortly.